Hi everybody, welcome to another video here on the channel. This is going to be the only video that for today, and for a couple of other videos I'm going to be wearing this. It is the holiday season kind of over, but I wanted to showcase this because not everybody got to see on the live stream on Christmas Eve that I was wearing it. So this is the sweater for some people, jumper here in the UK is what we describe it. So to get into the topic of the video, using gems. A little bit delayed in kind of like video. I wanted to put this out sooner, but I've been trying to spend some time with family and also work today on content and that going through to the weekend. Then to spend some more time with family because that's obviously the most important thing. So apologies on the delay. But let's talk about these gems right here, using them, the Glorious Guardians, Awakening gem, and some of the aforementioned gems or gems that come in the form of signature stones that can be elevating your champions from the Glorious Guardians bunch. And these bunch of champions can be found in the Glorious Guardians champion box. It's this system right here that you get certain champions and you get a random chance to get them. As I learnt when the event started that I got one, but it was at random, which is a bit disappointing because I would like to target certain ones to use in different things. However, I'm really happy that I got Deadpool X-Force. So any of these champions are good regardless, but there will be ones that will be lower down the pecking order. I'm actually of the thought process that Sentinel is lower down the pecking order, with others benefiting a lot more from the awakened ability. Sentinel as well is going to be, in my opinion, one of the better defensive options for things like Battlegrounds, so maybe people might be looking for a frustrating defender. And with the awakened ability, which allows for those personal debuffs to stay on longer, yeah, okay, that helps. That could help from an attacking sense if you have him mainly as a defensive based option. And of course, if the armor expire for whatever reason, that means he gets to his SP3 quicker, which means if he gets to SP3 quicker, it means he refreshes his Sentinel, which means that he's back at full health, which means that he's a frustrating, or even more so frustrating, defender than he is an attacker. And that's just the way I'm looking at the value side of things. If you are looking for him to use an attack, which he is good at, but I think the other tech champions would be of a better choice. Other tech champions are available is the phrase that I think we have in the UK, like on TV shows. Other brands are available, other techs are available. I think a lot of people will go in the direction of, right, well, I'll go here, or you know, a Mega Sentinel if I'm not a Mega Sentineling for a mutant counter. I'm Lady Death Striking if I'm not Lady Death Striking. I'm Nimrodding if I'm not Nimrodding. Then I'm using, I don't know, whatever, but I just don't think he's going to be the go-to tech attacker, so therefore his value is very much kind of defensive-based orientated. Similar vein or similar thought process when it comes to Black Panther, because he will be a attacking and, well, I don't think you'll use him much when it comes to defense. I love the fact he starts with reflect charges, which I think is kind of a real positive to allow him to start ramping quicker, which is something that I thought was a bit of a problem with the champion to begin with, but it looks like it's actually being solved because the mystery synergy, for whatever reason, which is not there, I don't know why actually it's not there. It's not here on the beta server, but there is a synergy with the champion, which is of course going to be with the champions coming in January, which allows for just an improved element of getting to reflect charges quicker. Here's actually it. It's available on the 6-star version, not 7-star version. Prodigal Sons, while blocking special attacks, the window in which reflect charges can be gained is increased and there is no cooldown. That helps amplify that, so I think that just helps with the attacking sense of kind of building your ramp quicker. So the awakened ability is pretty solid in all actuality and is helpful. You can see here this is 120 signature version, where Black Panther starts each fight with 13.57 reflect charges. Of course, it's not rounded up. High signature, it kind of like gives you a bit more an idea of you can get more when you start the fight, so therefore your ramp is quicker. And your ramp is sustained with that particular synergy coming in. So that it's a good option. And it also gains a percentage to absorb heavy attack impacts consuming 10 charges. That sort of gives him and become passively unstoppable. That helps him in a defensive light. So maybe he's got this kind of like double whammy aspect to him. I just felt that from a quick access, quick play, quick rotation, that reflect charges with the synergy that's coming likely next month is beneficial. So maybe in this kind of ordering he can go a lot higher. I'm talking like, you know, second, even maybe first, but I just think that at this moment in time he's brought down a little bit of a peg. There's a similar light when it comes to Purgatory. Purgatory will be your upfront kind of like questing type champion, especially as you acquire souls. And whether or not this buff is going to be something you're like, okay, well, this is focused mainly on incursions? Possibly not. Like, it's a questing champ. I think that people need to understand that it's a questing champ. Quick ramps to rotation around special attacks, quick building of those souls, a lot more damage, a lot more potential, a lot more fun, a lot more crossfight. There's a lot on offer for this champion to be beneficial for you, but it's very much from an attacking sense and a defense sense. And it does very much seem like a higher need to keep some of these souls active because they last for a certain amount of time. Like when the opponent is launching a special attack, gain 60% block regeneration passive for 6 seconds, unblockable buff 2 seconds, armor rating by X 9 seconds. Like, they have time limits to these things. It's not going to be like an instant gratification, and right, it's going to be a constant, whatever word I just said, a gratification. It's going to be something that's going to take a lot longer, because it says that the duration on the signature ability are increased by 10% at this particular time. So it kind of feels like you have to invest a lot to get a lot out the champion. And even at like level 65 in a 6-star version, you can see that this brings it up to 20%. So the higher the percentage you can have, the more that you can extend with those abilities to do more damage, sustain more when it comes to regeneration, and be more effective just in damage in general. And this is why I'm a bit stuck when it comes to the investment side of things. Like, would I put her towards the top or towards the bottom? Because I kind of feel for different types of scenarios, she excels with having more, or going in like further questing into it. She deserves to have more signature stone, awaken further signature stones in order to maximize the time you have to use those particular souls. Or is it quite less because you kind of go, well, should it be invested into another type of champion to then get more out of the champion? There's big questions around that, but I think definitely from a cosmic countering element, she is just a great option to focus on. But yeah, really tough to think what is best here. When it comes to Sentry, I'm in two minds about this. I don't know if I see a just enough cause to actually give him Awaken and 200 signature. Maybe there's a slight cause to the Awakening, but why you're 200 signaturing will have to come into question. Here's a good example. So at this moment in time, I do think there is some value in having the indestructible passive. That can be frustrating for a defense aspect, but I don't see a lot of people putting him on defense. In fact, I kind of feel that's going to be a bit of a non kind of like go thing. It's more of an attacking based champion. It's a quester, it's a necropolis run type champion. It is good for ramp over a certain amount of time, getting to damage quicker, having those persistent charges. And then, you know, what does the indestructible really give? I mean, there's a part 2 to this when it comes to the ability overall with it. But let's just see, if we put in 100 signatures right here, boom, put them up, and see what he gets. Well, you can see that the indestructible has gone to 59.55 seconds on cooldown. If we add in then, I don't know, we'll add in a further 41 signatures and see what that does to things. Does the refreshing and pausing of the debuffs mean something? Yeah, it helps out. The cooldown now is down to 47.19 seconds for that. So it's just how quickly you want to access that. Do you want to access that? What's that going to mean? Of course, the refreshing of the pausing of the personal debuffs is going to be helpful, because of course that's part of the main kit of the champion, to have debuffs on the enemy. But there again, you can do that as part of the rotation. So it's such a difficult one. I know that there's a lot of people will have done and will do in the future, rank up and Awaken and 200 signature. That's the point. And that's cool, and that's fine. I think it will help out, but I just don't see a good enough cause, because you can do a lot of stuff with the unawakened version that is still relatively effective. A similar case when it comes to Deadpool X-Force. The more that I've looked at this champion, and I keep looking at, say, how the taunt actually factors into the rotation for the champion, I'm still at a kind of question mark as to, okay, well, is that going to be relatively effective? If we're talking about a more rampant rotation around special attacks, then I guess yes, but then you have to rely on the situation. The situation is that purifying taunt debuffs or a taunt debuff on the opponent is replaced due to hitting the max stack, so you go more than 3. Deadpool gains a power efficiency buff, reducing the cost of special attacks by 20% until the next special attack is used. Cooldown 25 seconds, max stacks 2, and against skill champions, each Spleed debuff passive up to 1 reduces their regeneration rate by 5%. I'd spent a lot of time just kind of like racking my brain, like, when's a situation going to come about when a skill champion has regen that you interact with or fight against? I do think that there's always value in champions, especially these champions here. They're being buffed fantastically. But I'm just thinking to myself, like, do I actually need to awaken him when most of the time I'm going to be possibly using him in countering any skill-based champion in defense or in something like Battlegrounds? Like, is that going to be the option I go with? And as well when it comes to questing, because he is a fantastic option. Do I make him a horseman? Yes. Do I need that awakened ability when it comes to the taunt debuff? Not so much. Is the skill champion regenning? No. Why am I using? Do I need that? And I like it. The more that I look at it, I'm like, well, I don't know if I actually need that, and I could just get away with the unawakened version, because he does the job regardless. He does the job well. And what's the situations? Like, here's the situations on screen of where he's being used effectively. You know, he's taking down Hulk. But I don't see in any of the footage that Caban put out effective or needed rotation when it comes to the taunt aspects of that particular awakened ability. It's more focused on Splee debuffs. It's focused on fighting against skill champions. Most, if not, I'm pretty certain all the skill champions use, except for I think it's Life Model Decoy, is the only exception that I've seen that's showcasing the regeneration being largely suppressed. But then again, same principle, like, I just don't see the taunt debuff being used in rotation. Therefore, I'm looking at the value of it and going, do I actually need to awaken? So we aimed the video on Medusa, of course, because it's the only one I haven't mentioned. I think Medusa opens up a little bit more than some of the other champions from, say, an awakened or high signature ability. There is good, like, a counter argument to a lot of the champions that I've mentioned in the video so far, as to maybe like the, you know, the not ranking of things. So I'm not ranking this in a kind of, I mean, if I was to rank, in any case, it would be at number 6 would be Deadpool X-Force, because it doesn't really need the awakening. Sentry is 5 because, again, apart from that indestructible, I don't know if he really kind of like benefits, because you can rotate with them effectively. Then at number 4 would be Sentinel. I see him more as a defensive Battlegrounds option. At 3, I'd probably go with Panther Civil War, and that's mainly down to the extent of those reflect charges, which help with that rotation effectively. And that new synergy is basically going to open up him to be more like easy with play, but of course you need the champions first. Purgatory at 2, because I think you're going to gain more from a persistent based champion, and also opening up the durations for a longer period, so you can damage more, you can sustain more, you can have fun more, and crossfight better. And also number 1, like, I think that needs it more, is Medusa, because you open up a little bit more for her to be used on attack and defense. From an attacking point of view, she opens up by getting true accuracy, and that's like, you don't have to increase the signatures for that. And that's a benefit, by the way, just by awakening. So if you just want to awaken, she gets an extra ability. And if you are looking to, say, improve the auto block elements of it, then what we'll quickly do right now is put in 100 signatures. By putting in that, we can see how much that, again, benefits the percentage of you seeing an auto block from the champion. And that can be helpful in attack, but mainly helpful in defense. I know people will go, well, I'll just use an auto block counter. Fine. I'll just use a Mystic champion to suppress down those Fury buffs. Yes, absolutely. You can see that it's kind of like, well, it's not brought down, it's brought up with the percentage. There's a 70% chance now from 100 signatures. So increase that percentage, and she's just going to be annoying when it comes to a defense element of things. If she's on a node where she cannot be nullified, she'll be more frustrating, and you then have to bring in an auto block counter to deal with it. Even more so if she's got the parry mastery, and maybe some other stuff as well that you could kind of like add from a mastery sense to be frustrating nevertheless. So yes, I kind of feel that she is one of the better options of choice, because she opens up extra abilities that are frustrating on defense and attack, and I feel she needs it more. 100 signatures could be invested and she'll be viable. I think you could probably even put in about 50 and she'll still be viable. But yeah, I just think Medusa is one of the better options. But anyone, just choose the one you want. and the one you like. And I'm sure it's going to be effective for you, whatever your intention to use the champion is on. But all of them are great. All of them are absolutely amazing. But yeah, that's been my thoughts on how I'd rank them. What are your thoughts? Do you disagree? Put it in the comments. You know, hey, it's up to you. You can have an opinion. It's great to have an opinion about this as to who you would awaken and signature up. Check out some other content located on screen. Apologies for the delay in getting this done, but yeah, just holidays and family time. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.